Dragon Ball, probably the most influential anime of all time. Like most people my age, Dragon Ball Z was my first real anime, and it introduced me to a medium that has changed my life. Some of my fondest memories are sitting inside on a hot summer day watching the Frieza battles on Toonami.
I have way too much Dragon Ball stuff. I mean, simply, Dragon Ball changed my life.
It's sad now that today a lot of people write the series off as a bunch of muscly dudes screaming at each other. And yeah, there was a lot of that, but that's not how the series should be remembered, and it's not what really stood out or made the series great. Now yeah, when I was a kid, what first dragged me to Dragon Ball Z was the amazing action and the fight scenes and the crazy blasts and explosions and everything like that. But that's not the reason it stuck with me.
Dragon Ball Z wasn't just an action show, it was a very funny show with plenty of goofy things going on. From our main character Goku, the greatest fighter in the universe, being a complete goofball, to his son Gohan, who at the age of 12 surpasses his father as protector of the universe, only to grow up to become the great Saiyaman.
Dragon Ball Z went to great lengths to show that these characters, though they are super powerful and amazing and always serious and staring down each other, are people. They're not perfect, they make a whole bunch of mistakes, and they're goofballs. It's a show that greatly influenced my life, along with the original, more comedy-based series Dragon Ball. So when I was a kid, I was pumped to hear about Dragon Ball GT, the continuation of my favorite series. But what I got was, well, let's talk about that. Dragon Ball GT. Does it suck?
So if you're watching this video, you've probably seen GT. Maybe you saw it long ago and can't remember much about it, or maybe you're a young fan wanting to know if it's worth your time. Either way, I'm not going to hold back on spoilers. Dragon Ball stories are fairly predictable anyways, so a restriction on spoilers seems unnecessary here. But I'll give you all a spoiler warning just to be safe.
So first, let's do a little background here. GT began in February 1996 and then ended in November 1997. And then it premiered in the US in November 2003 until April 2005. The series consisted of 64 episodes and 4 major story arcs. The first story arc revolves around Goku being turned to a child by a set of black Dragon Balls. Now he, his granddaughter Pan, and Trunks need to go across the galaxy and collect these balls again in a calendar year or else the world will explode. When they get back to Earth, they fight Baby, who has possessed Vegeta to bring back the planet Vegeta, which was once ruled by the King Vegeta, who was the father to Vegeta. You got that? And then we have all the old villains from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z popping out from hell. Somehow they escape from hell, and they have Super Android 17, which is an android created by Dr. Gero in hell to absorb Android 17 that exists on Earth to become Super Android 17 because, you know, yeah. And lastly, we have the Dragon Balls breaking and releasing dragons from each of the balls, so each need to be defeated to put them back into the Dragon Balls. Now, I'm going to tell you the first thing that's really wrong with Dragon Ball GT, and it's an easy one. It's Akira Toriyama. Akira Toriyama is the creator of Dragon Ball, and he is not involved in this series at all. The only thing I've seen him given official credit for is coming up with the name Dragon Ball GT. GT was written and designed by Toei Animation. Without Toriyama, the series lacks this light-hearted, fun side of it that was always present in Toriyama's writing.
Character designs look bland and uninspired, such as Baby Vegeta. I mean, look at that. White hair? That's so inspired. Or Super Android 17. It's a bulky version of 17. These designs aren't memorable at all. I mean, I can only really remember one of the Shenrons. Compare that to the minor villains in Dragon Ball Z, like the Ginyu Force. I remember all those guys by heart. I know who they were, I know what they did, and that's because they had great designs and interesting character.
Also, the redesign of Vegeta is terrible. First off, they cut his hair, then they give him a mustache. I mean, sure, they take away the mustache later, but still you cut his hair. Why? Why did you make this change? Why didn't you just leave him be? He didn't need to be changed. He looked amazing the way he is. He's the Prince of all Saiyans. This series also takes the interesting cast of Dragon Ball Z and completely pushes them away. Say what you will about Krillin as a fighter, but I sorely missed his presence in Dragon Ball GT. Sure, he's there every now and then, but it's only in passing. He's never really a main character again.
They turned Gohan into a bookworm, which started in Dragon Ball Z, but he was still a fighter then. That's why he still became the great Saiyaman. He still wanted to fight and protect people. But in GT, he just sits around in the background.
They also take one of my favorite additions in the last half of Dragon Ball Z, which was the add-in of Goten and Trunks. They felt like real kids and great combinations of their parents' personalities. I mean, you have Trunks, who's arrogant like his dad, but he's intelligent like his mom, and he has both of their attitudes to boot. And then you have Goten, who's goofy and a lot like Goku, but he's still a little smaller than Goku because he was raised by Chi-Chi. I thought the moments together were always really funny.
But in GT, Goten just ends up being some normal stereotype of a teen, going on dates and talking on the phone all the time. And Trunks turns into basically Gohan from the Great Saiyaman saga. He's smart and leads a normal life, but he just wants to fly around and be himself sometimes. He's the voice of reason in the group, but he can still be silly now and then. But that really just doesn't sound like the Trunks we saw earlier in the series. Sure, you could say he's similar to the Trunks that traveled back in time, but that Trunks grew up in a depressing, bleak future without his father or any friends.
I would have liked to see him be a little more arrogant, a little bit more of a jerk, but still the leader of the group, because he still has the most calm head. I mean, that's a more interesting character. Really, one of the biggest wastes is we never see Goten and Trunks form Go-Trunks again. I mean, those guys went to Super Saiyan 3 as kids. And we never get to see what they can do. But no, we don't get the main cast. We get to be treated to this version of Trunks, Pan, and Goku. Now, Goku was still Goku, but by turning him into a kid in the beginning of the series, they took away a lot of his powers, they nerfed him down a bit, except for when he gets to Super Saiyan 4. Trunks, as I said earlier, is the straight man of the group, always being calm, level-headed, and bland, really. And then there's Pan, the daughter of Gohan and Videl. She is so annoying in this series. If she's not complaining about how everyone treats her as a kid, she's whining about how unfair everything is. I feel like they were trying to go from the dynamic they had in Dragon Ball, which is add someone like Bulma. But Pan doesn't work like a Bulma. Yeah, Bulma was annoying in those first few episodes, and she could be hard to deal with, but she was at least experiencing something that was ridiculously insane. She had never seen anyone who could be hit by a car or doesn't get hurt by bullets. She comes from the normal world, where our perspective, and you're getting to see this world unfold, and you're looking at it through her eyes like, what the fuck is going on, you know? So she's a fish out of water character. But in Dragon Ball GT, you're familiar with the Dragon Ball series by now, or else this show doesn't make sense to you. And you have to know all these powers. Nothing here is surprising you, so why have a fish out of water character who's always like, what? There's no point to it. GT also tries very hard to up those stakes. Like all the villains breaking out of hell, or the earth will explode if you do not collect the balls of magic. But really, after the Buu saga where everyone died, every single character died, and the entire earth exploded, how much more tension can you get? There's a limit, and the Buu saga was that limit. That's as high as you can go with complete destruction. They completely destroyed everything. That's all you can do. Now, some might say the Earth exploding in a year was just motivation to get Goku out the door to actually go on this journey. And I say to that, yeah, you're right, but it just feels so forced. I mean, the series opens up by just saying, go on an adventure or the Earth will explode, Goku. And Goku's just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go on this adventure because the Earth will explode if I don't. Whatever. This leads me to something I really love about the movie Battle of the Gods. Yeah, in Battle of the Gods, the villain Beerus is threatening to destroy the Earth. But Goku wants to fight him. This is a character he can't beat at his strongest, and he wants to beat this obstacle. It is motivation for Goku, and the movie focuses more on the humor and the characters like Dragon Ball Z did. It's not more about, we gotta fight this guy. It's more about, hey guys, let's all have fun. Also, let's beat the crap out of that guy. Goku is a willing participant in this fight, unlike in GT, where he has to be told, do it, or the Earth's going to explode. And he's kind of like, okay, well, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, really, our hero is kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'll go on this adventure if you want me to. I mean, you know. I mean, does that sound like Goku? If you're a Dragon Ball fan, think about it. Is the hero Goku? Does he sound like a guy who'd back away from a crazy adventure? So to conclude, was GT the worst thing I've ever watched? No, not really. When I was rewatching the show for this video, I found that the show was a lot more tolerable than I thought it was. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. There was no cringy moments. I never threw up my hands and said, I can't deal with this anymore. But it's also not a show I'd ever seek out and try to watch again. It's not interesting, really. There's a few moments that made me smile, but that's more nostalgia for Dragon Ball Z. And that's what I felt the show was. It felt like a cheap cash grab on one of the greatest animes of all time. It's just this forgetful series that's completely redacted by the fact that Dragon Ball Super has come out. I'm glad that Dragon Ball is making a comeback as of late, especially now that it's headed by Toriyama, because Dragon Ball GT would have been a really bad way to end this series. Dragon Ball GT sucked. It didn't do enough with the tools it was given. It just felt like a weak cash grab to just say, here's a story, Give us your money. And because it has Goku and it's called Dragon Ball, it made money. There was no heart and soul to this series, and it was just listless. This series has nothing to offer you. Do not bother with it. Even though I personally bought it on DVD because I'm part of the problem.
Hey guys, thanks y'all for watching my latest video on Dragon Ball GT. It's my first Dragon Ball video. I want to do a whole bunch more, so if you guys like this, I plan on doing some more. If you look on this beautiful screen here, you'll see that I have Twitter, Tumblr, and, of course, Facebook. Links to all that in the description below. You want to check that out, look below me. You can also subscribe. There's a beautiful button on the screen for that. Like this video if you like it, dislike this video if you hate it. Be honest, tell me what you think. Comment down below, tell me about Dragon Ball GT. What's your experience with it? Do you remember it that well? Did you like it? Why did you like it? Tell me more. Also, if you look in the middle of the screen, you'll see the last anime video I did where I compared Fullmetal Alchemist to Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. If you want to see my opinions on that, click right on there, tell you what anime is better and which one you should spend your time on. Again, thank you guys all for watching, and have fun, man.
Down to this show, but Lord, does it blow. Maybe we'll go get some hoes.